Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Behind the Cosplay. I'm your host, Cody Bennett from the Convention Reviews YouTube channel. This is your weekly show where I talk to somebody interesting from the cosplay convention community. This could be a cosplayer, a convention YouTuber, someone who runs conventions, or even just someone who's been in the community for a long time and has a lot to share. Remember, this is a conversational interview that goes live every Friday, other than when I'm doing con coverage content. But pretty much every Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube and SoundCloud. Coming to iTunes soon if it is successful on YouTube. So if you want it on iTunes, watch on YouTube so I know that you guys like it. Also, if you know somebody cool that you want to hear on the show, somebody interesting, there's a link in the description to the YouTube version where you can suggest them to me. But like I've been saying the last couple weeks, that might not be enough sometimes. It'll help a lot if you go to their social medias and let them know. Put the word in their ear. Be like, hey, Cody's doing this little show called Behind the Cosplay, and I think you'd be great on it. I want to hear more about what's going on with you that we don't ever get to see. I do want to point out really quick that I've been doing a lot of YouTubers, and I want to mention that. This show is not going to be all YouTubers. I even say in the beginning this could be a cosplayer or someone who runs a convention or someone who's just been in the community for a long time. Now, the reason it's been a lot of YouTubers and it's going to continue to be, the first 5 or 6 episodes are all somehow YouTube based, is just because that's where I'm at. You know what I mean? I don't personally know a ton of cosplayers that well. I'm just going to be honest with you. I know a lot of the YouTubers side because that's what I do. I'm on the YouTube side. So I'm trying to find people. I'm trying to get cosplayers in here because I know you guys want me to talk to people who are just straight up cosplayers that you don't ever get to hear from on YouTube, but you love what they do. That is a major goal for me, and I'm definitely going to get people like that on here. I just got to figure out who to get on here because I don't even know where to start. I'm not going to lie to you. So let me know who I should be asking. Or if you're a cosplayer, this is dangerous. If I call out and say, if you're a cosplayer, let me know that you want to be on the show, then I'm going to get hundreds of responses probably from people all over. So I'm going to put kind of an asterisk. I don't ever care about size or things like that. I care more about passion and craftsmanship and things like that. So if you're a cosplayer who, obviously everyone thinks their cosplays are awesome, but you think you're really making something exceptional, and you think, or you have a decent following. Like I said, a following's not everything, but if you do have a following, it does prove that, there's something going on there. You either have the passion or you have the little special sauce, that we need to be on this show. I can't just have everybody on the show. So if you think you would be good for the show, honestly ask yourself, am I ready for this show? To be on here and be interviewed about all this stuff? And if you honestly say, yeah, I'm ready, my stuff's good enough, Cody, then let me know. And maybe I can get you on here. I can get you in with the Skype call. But we'll see. I'm just putting it out there. That might have been a mistake. I'm probably going to get 1,000 responses now. But, oh well, it's out there. Okay, let's talk about who we're talking to this week. We are talking to, oh my gosh, I made a mistake. Hold on, guys. I don't have his YouTube channel up yet. What am I doing? Give me just a second. I just got to get it up real quick. Okay, it's right here. It's right. Pretty easy to find. All right. We're talking to Byron Yang. I think I'm saying his last name wrong. If I'm effing that up, I'm sorry, guys, and I'm sorry to Byron. Byron is a straight up convention videographer, music videos. That's all it is on his channel. There's not even that many videos on here. You can watch them all probably in an hour and a half. But they're amazing. I just want to put that out there. He is not like... okay, let me just put it this way. Remember how I said numbers don't really matter to me? It's more about passion and it's about what you're doing. Well, Byron is a perfect example of that. He doesn't even have 400 subscribers on YouTube. That's a small channel, guys. It's not big, and I'm not trying to put him down or anything, because I'm honestly appalled. I'm straight up appalled that he doesn't even have 400 subscribers. There's a link in the description to his channel. Check it out, because he deserves your subscription. If you watch even one of these videos, you're going to be like, how does he not even have 400 subscribers? This is mind-blowing, because his videos are really, really good, guys. They're really cinematic. He's doing something different. When I watch his videos, they just feel different to me. And I think we're going to get into that in the conversation a little bit. We'll see what he has to say about it, how he came up, where he learned to do this stuff, but they're just not the same. In a world where it seems like so many cosplay music videos are just cookie cutter copies, and this includes mine. I'm still trying to break out and find how to make mine different than everybody else's, but his are really different. His really stand out to me. I think he's really doing something cool. So go check him out. But I could talk all day about him, but we should just get him in here and let him talk about himself. He's going to know him better than I do. So without further ado, we're going to call Byron up. This is another Skype one. Haven't got to talk to anyone in person yet, but I'm going to Anime Midwest this weekend, and I think I'm going to do 2 or 3 there. So we should have some in-person ones. But enough about all that. Let's call him up and get him on the line. Hey guys, what's up? I'm here with Byron. What's up?
Hey, I'm here with Cody. I'm Byron.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, to start things off, I always like to start off by asking where people can find your work exactly, so that they know who you are.
Yeah, they can find my work at facebook.com/Manna Rose.
Manna Rose?
Yep, MANNAROSE.com.
Okay. And your YouTube channel is just your name?
Yeah, just my name. Just look up Byron Yang on YouTube.
Okay. All right, so just generally, you don't have to, be like super exact, but like what area did you grow up in?
Yeah, I grew up in Sparta, Wisconsin. That's like 30 miles away from La Crosse, if you guys ever heard of that town. So yeah, pretty much I grew up on a chicken farm, raised by my grandma and my grandpa. So it was a really cool life, growing up and way out on the farm.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's amazing, I would get bored and, I didn't have any, older siblings, closer to my age. So I would always go out back to the woods and I would pretend that, I'm like Link or or someone, someone that I played or read about.
So that
Robin Hood, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it really opened up my imagination to really composing and framing what I do now, which are music videos for, the cosplay scene.
Right.
And it really helped me, like, okay, it was the foundation that kind of built my director mind into eventually doing what I'm doing right now.
Wow, that goes way back.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, everything goes way back,
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, even with me, I did one of these myself. I had my friend interview me just to like kind of feel how it was. And even with me, video goes back to when I was like 5 years old or something like that. It always starts so young.
Right.
So that actually kind of leads into my next question. I was going to ask if you were throughout your childhood, if you were always into like nerdy type of stuff, or because you said you'd go out and like pretend like you're Link, or
right,
like you've always been into it.
Yeah. I have my mom to thank for. I remember being in first grade and she picked me up from, my aunt was babysitting me and my mom came, home from after work to pick me up. And I remembered her, just looking up into the stars and in the back seat, I was like in first grade and she was like, hey, I got a movie for you. And I was like, what? And she's like, Star Wars. And so it just kind of snowballed after that. So everything just kind of went downhill or uphill.
Uphill.
Yeah, if you can say from there. So yeah, pretty much Star Wars, American science fiction, and I didn't really get into anime until later on in high school when I was around 17, 18.
Oh wow, that's a
Yeah.
lot later than anyone else I've talked to.
Oh yeah, because I grew up in a really small town, Sparta, and back in the 90s when I was in high school, we didn't really have the internet. You know,
That's true.
we had to drive like 30 miles to like a video store to like get a VHS. It wasn't even DVDs yet. It was like a big VHS copy.
Yeah. So what about video games? Were you into that back then, or?
Yeah. Chrono Trigger, Super Nintendo.
Oh man, I still haven't played that.
The first one, yeah, you got to. I remember.
I plan to.
Yeah, I paid like $74. I remember too for the cartridge, and it was so expensive because it was, you know, it wasn't like a CD. It was like a piece of, you know, thick plastic.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I remember playing Chrono Trigger, Ninja Gaiden, Double Dragon. You know, even the first Nintendo with Duck Hunt, Mario Brothers. Yeah, I played all that. So I had older cousins that bought the system first. And then eventually my parents bought me one, so I just have a lot of it my parents to thank for, just because they always allowed that avenue for me. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. The SNES is my favorite console of all time.
Oh, man. Yeah, for sure.
It's so good. Like, okay, so as you've grown up, I guess you kind of already answered this. Like, I was going to ask, like, how your views on all the nerdy things have changed. Like, has it widened, or, you know, I mean, you already mentioned, I guess, that as you grew up, you got into anime. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah.
I guess you kind of already answered that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot has changed. You know, I think for the newer generation now, I'm Generation X, you know. I grew up in the 80s and 90s. Mm-hmm. And so I think your generation, Cody, Generation Y or millennials.
Yeah, millennials.
I mean, there's good and there's bad to every generation. So, but what's really good about your generation is that you guys are really, really good with the internet. You guys are really good with communicating in the new media. Where us older folks, we have a hard time, hitting the buttons on our, phones to get into our Gmail accounts. So. Yeah. I mean, you guys are so good, and I look at the young folks today, and I'm like, how are they so good at just like checking their phones like it's a a keyboard? And I can never do that. That's why I'm really bad with phones and the internet. But there's a point to this. So going back to the original question, the geekdom has changed. I would say. It's the information that we get are more overwhelming nowadays, just because of the internet. We're back when I had to rely on newsprint, and I had to rely on getting into my car to drive like 20 minutes to the next, the closest store that sells comics or manga. Yeah. It was different because we worked for ours, so it was more, I think, to me, rewarding. In a way to find something that was kind of niche, but to look hard for it. I felt like I kind of earned it.
I totally get that, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that this generation, you guys are slacks or lazy. I'm just saying that the information is so overwhelming that if I was, a young kid growing up nowadays, it would just be like, where do I start?
I totally get it. Like, even me, there's so much, like, especially anime. It's so easy to get now that I haven't honestly watched anime in like, I don't know, like a year. I haven't watched like a new show because I'm like, there's just so much stuff. I don't even know what I want to start. Like, I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I guess it's got its both pros and cons. You have, if you want to look something up, it's at your fingertips, and you can just hit a keyboard, hit a few letters, and you're there. But I mean, in a way, I guess. Well, I don't know. To me, I think. It's happening to me, so I'm judging myself. It kind of desensitizes you to good work, if that makes any sense. Like, you see like so many good works like every day on Facebook. Oh yeah. That it eventually you just it just becomes a I don't want to say a redundant thing, but you just it doesn't hit you like it used to before, when every once in a while you'll see something and you'll be, oh, that's cool. But now it's like every second, like on my Facebook feed, I have friends posting like these awesome videos that I'm just, oh my gosh, it's like, so I don't know. What do you think about that?
I mean, I get completely what you're saying. I completely agree. I think of it like with I look at YouTube, like, and when YouTube was first coming up, and you would see something like even a cosplay music video, like the kind of cosplay music videos that you make, and like if I were to see something like that, I don't know, even like 5 years ago, I'd be like, wow, this really stands out compared to everything else. And your videos are still amazing, but now there's just they really are like.
Thanks,
You're
man.
like honestly goals to me for music videos.
Oh,
But
awesome.
now though, there's so many people doing like such good stuff that it doesn't stand out nearly as much. It's like, oh, that was awesome. But then you just click
Right.
on another one, and it's like, oh, here's another one that's amazing.
Yep.
Like, it's just
Right.
everywhere now. It's so
hmm
it really can be overwhelming,
Yeah.
honestly.
It's like, how do you guys handle that? Like, I mean, I'm old fashioned, so like, I can remember the old days, even though I'm living right now with you and everyone else,
Yeah.
so it's tough, man. It's like you guys are like smack dab in the middle of it, and I've had time to kind of, to grow into it, grandfather into it. I mean, that sounds so damn old, but
Yeah. But I
but
mean,
it's yeah.
at the same time though, it's awesome just
hmm
because like everything I know about video personally, I
Right.
learned everything just from watching other people. I mean, I feel like I'm learning really slowly because I don't
hmm
have anyone to teach me,
hmm
but I just, there's so much good stuff out there now, and it's so accessible that I could learn to make like the stuff I make now. I don't think it's like incredible or anything, but it's better than I ever thought that I could do, and that's just from watching other people do things and being like, how do I do that? Like, how do I emulate that? But
Right. That's exactly how you learn. You just try to look at a frame of someone that you admire. Like, for me, it was Stanley Kubrick, Wong Kar-wai, Chan-wook Park,
hmm
all the foreign directors. Well, Stanley Kubrick was American, but he moved to England, to work because he didn't like how Hollywood was running, their business here. So anyways, yeah, I look at all the old masters of film, and I look at how they frame a composition, how they tell a story, their editing, and I'm like, I nitpick exactly what makes their shot great, and then I try to emulate that. I'm still learning. I haven't figured everything out, and so yeah, I mean, you're right. You have to look up to people that you admire when it comes to doing film and video projects. It's just how you learn and grow, and yeah, and then eventually you'll get the basics over with, and then you'll know what rules to break, and then you'll start finding your own voice. So I think with the cosplay video scene, as much as I love it and admire it, I think there's room for it to still grow. There's room
oh yeah,
for the music videos to still look different from each other, and I think eventually, once you stop, once you've perfected, or mastered copying someone that you look up to, once you've got nailed their look down, then I think it's time that you should try to get more experimental too, and just kind of see if maybe I should shine this lens and right into this light and see what kind of glare or silhouette, that the frame creates when I put, the cosplayer right underneath this light. So just like really, push that button that you're not supposed to push. I
yeah.
always tell my students that. So
That's why I honestly like your videos a lot, and I really think they stand out. Is because, and mine are even guilty of this, where I think that a lot of cosplay music videos just look really similar, even though
hmm
like one might be fast or one might be slow or whatever. It's all
right,
still very
hmm
similar, and I feel like yours are just that little bit different. That it's like you don't see this everywhere, and there's something special about this. Like,
right,
and I really wish I myself want to learn how to, make something that looks different as well, but I wish other people too. I guess I just feel like so many cosplay videographers nowadays are content with just putting out, the same type of thing just for different cons over and over
hmm
again.
hmm
And I really wish there were more people doing the cosplay video like how you do, where it's kind of almost pushing it a little
right.
bit.
Right. And, you know, I'm always trying to push it. You know, the moment that any of my two cons, you know, I always try to, you know, make my videos better than the last con, you know, so, and it's tough, you know, and the moment that like my videos start to have a pattern to it, I mean, they do, you know, by default, just
Yeah.
because of, you know, just because of the lens choices that I use and the camera and all that. But in the end, it's, you know, it's my eyes, you know, my vision that's directing exactly what the audience need to look at. And it's that dictation, you know, that I think sets us, all of us, you know, apart from one another, is that you see something different. You and I can use the same camera, but the way that you frame something is totally how you see it versus how I do it. So
No
you and I
doubt
will,
about
yeah,
it.
we will all get different shots. You, me, and all the, you know, Midwest videographers, you know, Freddie, who else is doing, Nick, you
Yeah.
know, shout out to the other videographers. We all have, you know, different eyes, you know, of seeing things. And I think it's good to be competitive, you know, to kind of motivate yourself, but don't let the competition get so toxic, you know.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah, and I love how you're always about the community and all that, and I want to encourage that, you know, like just, you know, support each other, whether it's through cosplay or making props or, you know, shooting videos or photos. I think the community, you know, as a whole, I think for the most part that I've seen have been really, what's the word I'm looking for, supportive.
Oh yeah, for sure, for
So
sure. I love
it's
that's.
great.
I think that's why I've stuck with doing the convention videos for so long. Or I might have just jumped to, like, you know, I'm doing travel videos now. I may have just jumped to that
Right.
quicker if it wasn't so supportive in the convention world. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I definitely, like, without a doubt, when I go to cons, there's times where I tell myself, I'm like, I want to try to make this the best video to come out of this convention, just to motivate myself. It's, you know, it's not really anything against the other people, and I still
Right.
watch other people's videos, and am very happy when they turn out really good.
Oh
And
yeah,
and even
it's
when,
inspiring. Yeah.
yeah, and I like when they turn out better than mine too. When I'm not the best video to come out, I'm like, wow, that's, I gotta, you know, I can learn from this. It's
Yeah.
sometimes it's better to not be the best, because then you have more to learn from somebody
Right.
else. But
Well, yeah, I mean, we are all learning, you know, even, you know, George Lucas,
oh yeah,
Spielberg,
you
all
never
those
stop.
guys.
You never
Yeah,
stop learning.
you never stop learning. So I think for someone to say that they've learned, you know, that they know everything, that's just, I think it's rubbish. You
Oh
know,
yeah, that's
I mean,
just
you got
really
keep an
cocky.
open mind, and that's how you grow, you know, as an artist. Why wait, you know, why limit yourself and think that, you know, that you've learned it all. I haven't. I want to learn more. I'm hungry, you know.
Yeah,
So
no doubt.
yeah. Hmm.
Okay, so we jumped in really quick. Let's see. Okay, when did you get into the convention world? Like, what was your first con?
Right. I was a really late bloomer. I was a closeted cosplayer back in the mid 2000s, early 2000s. You know, I had commissioned someone to make the movie perfect, you know, Hugh Jackman X-Men Part 1 jacket for me.
Oh
And
wow.
they molded like the claws from the resin that they used from the X-Men movie. So I had like, you know, I have it here somewhere, but I'm not gonna, you know, go look for it. But the claws, I sold the jacket, but I mean, and I would wear it, you know, in my bedroom and kind of just look at myself and go, man, this looks cool, and put on the claws, you know, and, you know, grow out my sideburns and make my hair like his, and, you know, pointy and stuff. And then I would just, you know, put it away because, I would put it away and then, you know, do it again, you know, a couple months later. But I mean, so I was really closeted, you know, for, you know, as a cosplayer. And because I didn't have, you know, back then, I didn't have like the circle of friends that were into it and that went to conventions. You know, I didn't know conventions were even a thing, you know, back in the mid 2000s, you know.
Right.
So, and it was really kind of new for the cosplay scene too, for, you know, and for the Midwest around that time as
Oh
well.
yeah, the Midwest is really far behind, and
Hmm.
still today, if you go out of the Midwest, you're like, oh wow, I can see how this is behind still.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And the thing is, it's, you know, you know, I had a point too. My bad. I have a
Sorry.
no, it's cool. I was like, you know, there's so many like good topics that there are so many ideas coming into my head right now. But let's stick to the original point, and that's how I got into cosplay late. I actually, so fast forward, to 2014, and I was like, I'm either gonna go as Noctis from Final Fantasy, or I'm gonna try video. So it was like what do you call that? When you got two roads ahead of you, it's a saying for that.
Fork in the road.
Yeah, fork in the road kind of thing, where I could have went either way and just worked really hard at one. So I tried video first, and I found out I loved it and stuck with it ever since, and kind of gave up my cosplay plans. And
I don't mean to cut you off, but that honestly, that speaks a lot to me. Where when you say it's a fork in the road, because I have viewers of my channel ask me all the time why I don't cosplay, and I try to explain to them the best I can that like I'm putting so much into trying to get better at video and focusing so much on that I just don't have not even the money or the time. I just can't focus on both of these things. So
right.
I totally feel what you're saying there. That resonates with me a lot.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I see that with a lot of young folks in the creative field, because we love to do everything, and I don't only just like to shoot videos. I like to, play music, produce music, play the guitar. I like to paint. I like to draw. So, I mean, there are so many things coming at us, and we have to just pick one thing, that and get good at it, because that's all you can really do, is just to really focus on that one thing and get good at it,
Yeah, for sure. So what was your first con? You said it was in 2014. Do you remember which con it was?
Oh yeah, it was Anime Detour, and if you look on my YouTube channel, it's the first video that I have on there. That was my first convention, and yeah, it just kind of took off from there, and I just kind of got bitten by the bug. There were a bunch of cool folks there that like really understood. When I would say, when I would talk, when I would bring up like something. To the mainstream, this would be obscure, but like the Guyver, the manga, the anime, and I would bring that up, and there would be someone in the room who would totally get it, and we would have like a dialogue about that. So it was great. It was a great atmosphere. It was really awesome hanging out with people that were kind of weird and odd, like me, So it was awesome. It was like home.
Yeah, for sure. That's how I felt my first con. I was like, I'm home. So I was going to ask if anything stuck out in your memory about that first con, but I guess that's kind of an answer for that. Is there anything else? Or?
I would say for my first con, that memory, something that stuck out, I would say I don't know. I would just talking to really cool people, just chill people, asking cosplayers if they would want to be in my video, and they would just, always be really nice and just, obliged, and we're really well-kept manners, really, really great scene, Right. I can't complain. So the people, yeah, for sure.
For sure, yeah. Has your view on cons changed at all since back then?
Not really, because I've kept, like you said, the Midwest, we're kind of slower, but
yeah.
But in a way, there's a charm to that, because it kind of makes us, when I capture, a lot of the, the awesome cosplayers in the Midwest here, it has that really Midwestern feel, the vibe, the kind of like the small town charms, that's what I really want to try to capture,
Yeah, and I know you went to, I saw you at Anime Central like last year or something, and you were saying you didn't like it as much.
Well, the con was amazing. I mean, don't get me wrong. Before any haters come at me.
No.
Yeah, the convention itself was awesome. I loved it. As a videographer, I'm speaking, as someone who shoots videos with a Steadicam unit and with with the whole gear on my.
Yeah,
it was kind of hard to maneuver around 30,000 people, and it's not the con's fault. It was me kind of not going more prepared, like I should have probably just brought a monopod instead of the whole vest and arm thing, so it was kind of bigger than what I'm used to. I'm used to kind of, the 4,000
Yeah.
attendee range to the 10,000 around there, just because I have more space around me to film the location and to shoot. Because I want to shoot all my cosplayers on different backgrounds instead of just shooting them in the, in the hall, So,
Yeah, I like that about your videos too, by the way. Just to
thanks.
mention,
Thanks.
it looks very different than everyone else's. Have you been to Midwest?
I haven't, but it's the same location as ASEN, right?
Yeah, it's just way less people. Like it's so much more manageable.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll think about it for sure. It's just
it might be too late for you this year because it's
right.
next weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably still go, just ask a few friends who are going and probably, room with them. But it's just, that last minute thing. I don't like to do that too much, especially if it's out of town. I do more last minute things if it's like, like 3 hours away, so.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I definitely recommend checking it out sometime.
Cool, for sure.
I like that location, and it's so much more manageable. I like Midwest for recording 100 times better than I like ASIN.
Awesome, yeah. I mean, ASIN is, it's great. If you just go there to geek out and just to meet people and stuff, it's awesome. But as someone who's trying to work and stuff and move equipment around, yeah, you're going to have a tough time.
Okay, so I know you haven't been going to cons for that long, but have you noticed, do you feel like cons have changed at all since you started going?
When you say change, do you mean like the cosplayers or the community or
I think I mostly
or...
mean like the community.
Okay. I would say no, because I came in late, so I'm in that new phase that I've been told by my friends who have been to cons a lot longer. Like they said that it was more, I would say, niche back then. It's a lot more mainstream now, according to them. It's more like just sometimes you get, like I said, I should probably just keep quiet. I just don't want to cause any,
Yeah.
drama. So yeah, I mean. Well, I don't know. What about you? I mean, you've been to the con, in the con scene a lot longer than I have. What have you seen that has changed in I mean, yeah.
That's why I ask honestly is because I only started going to cons at the very December 2011, so basically 2012, and I only went to 2 cons before 2013. So 2013 is when I really got into it. So okay. I'm like pretty close to when you started.
Okay.
And I haven't noticed a ton of change. I just ask people because I've had people tell me who have been going for longer than me that they feel like people have gotten almost like a lot more rude at cons.
Okay.
And like maybe the community isn't as tight as it used to be.
Oh, okay.
And I just know some people who've been going for longer are kind of like, I'm not really feeling it anymore. Like I think I'm out. I don't like this. I think the problem is just that there's so many people going now, and when there's that many people, it's harder to keep like a tight niche, a tight community.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's why I ask. I was interested what you would think since you haven't been going nearly as long. But
yeah, I may have come into it at the tail end of what everyone's saying that's negative about it. So to me, I think I look at it neutrally, like unless it starts affecting me, like.
I honestly feel the same
my
way.
Health yeah. But I mean, I'm just like, I think change will come, anytime for anything, so it'll be interesting to see,
I'm expecting these things to blow up, honestly.
Okay.
Because nerd culture keeps getting bigger and bigger. It wouldn't surprise me if in the next 10 years, some of these small cons are like massive. I mean, even Anime Midwest, the first year I went, it was only like 2,000 people. And I think it's like getting close to like 12,000 people now. It's only been like 4 years.
But do you want them to blow up though?
That's the question.
Yeah, that's what I love. That's what I love about Daisho Con. The one in Wisconsin Dells.
Yeah.
It's just because it's got the perfect amount of people. I mean, because once it gets too crowded, I think it's for someone who shoots videos or photos. It just gets tough to move around, and like I said, it's just tough. So I don't know. So just goes back to the question: Would you want a con that you like to get bigger?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't have an answer to that. I'm not really sure. It kind of depends on the con to me, and depends on the location. Like, does this location have room for more people? Is
Mm-hmm.
kind of the biggest thing to me, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did you get into making videos?
Well, I started making videos, like I said, we all started young, from fourth, fifth grade, I remembered my dad brought home a VHS, camcorder, and I just remembered playing with that and just falling in love with that. And so it just kind of rolled down from there. Into high school, I was part of the, TV production, class, and I was really into producing and cutting film or video. And then in college I went in, as an animation degree. So a lot of the film theories that I have that I put into my current work that you see on my YouTube page, a lot of that theory came from animation, like how to edit, how to pace things, how to show characters, how to match on action, how to do match cuts, and all of that theory translated perfectly to kind of the videography that I'm doing today, and it just transitioned smoothly. So yeah, it's where
you didn't learn video in school. It just translated over, or?
Yeah, well, I took a lot of video in college, and I was back then, back in the 90s, it was so hard to buy a camera that was under like $2,000 that could do what we can do today. It was so expensive back then. Like what the cameras we have today, like the GH5 or what you have or what whoever else has, would cost like probably like 50 to 100 grand back in the 90s.
I mean, even the cameras on people's phones now are crazy. Like the camera on iPhones, I wouldn't use it to make a video, but if you were getting started, you could. I mean,
right? Yeah, you could shoot a movie on your phone. Like there was a popular indie short that made it to Film Dance or some film festival, and it was shot on an iPhone. The whole short film was shot on an iPhone, and it made a film festival circuit. So
That's
it doesn't matter what you use. It's totally the story you tell and who the person behind the camera is. So
I totally agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I have people ask me all the time. They're like, what's a really good camera I should buy to get into video? And I always want to be like, well, I mean, you can buy a really good camera, but it doesn't mean your videos are going to be good.
Right.
Like, you have to learn. It's more about you. Okay, so what has been the hardest thing about making video?
I would say the hardest thing about making video is probably I can't think of anything. It's just I love it so much that it doesn't even feel like work, I would say the hardest thing is probably right now is having kind of, like a dream, kind of like a movie in your head that you can't make yet because you need to find a producer, you need to find actors, you need to find an investor, kind of far off projects that you will eventually get to, but you just got to find the right team, the right moment to strike, like when all the planets align, that's when you go for it. So that hasn't happened yet. I'm still waiting to put everything in place before I can make a future project. But that's probably the hardest thing, is just anticipating the new project that's up ahead, how to get to it.
Is there anything about making cosplay videos specifically that you find difficult, or is it just like any other video?
I would say myself, I'm my own worst critic. So I would say to always do a better video than the previous one. So I'm always challenging my own goals, and myself. And I think, this is how everyone should do it, I mean, or not, No,
I totally agree with you. I do the same thing to myself. I definitely don't always do it, but
that's how it works for me. So you just gotta persevere and keep growing, don't look back, just keep going ahead. So that's kind of the hard thing, I guess. If you put it into perspective, I would say trying to outdo myself, my previous projects, and just to keep going, keep moving ahead.
Do you have a favorite convention video you've done?
I would say right now so far, the current one, Anime Detour 2017, that would probably be my favorite one, just because of my growth. You know, how much I've learned from the previous con that I've added to this one, and then I hope that the next one is going to be better than this one. So just kind of my own self goals.
Yeah, I feel that. I always want my newest video to be my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's not, I'm like, man, I didn't beat the last one.
Right, exactly. That's happened to me too. So Anime Iowa was my favorite for a long time. You know?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this one knocked that one down a second. So.
Do you have any interesting stories about making cosplay videos, or?
I actually don't. Yeah, I mean, if I did, it probably would be too, hardcore, and we probably couldn't put it on this podcast. So, but I've had some interesting stories that's happened to me that I could probably tell you at a con off camera. So
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's one of those crazy things, that I'll just keep it at that.
Okay. Let me see here. I lost my spot. Okay, do you have a favorite convention?
Right now, I really like DaishoCon. I love it. I mean, it's just the vibe, the location, the people. By the way, are you going to DaishoCon this year?
I don't know. It's up in the air right now. I could probably, just like I did last year, my mom always goes to the Dells at the same time.
Nice.
So she invited me again,
Yes.
and I'm thinking about that I should do it. I'm just not 100% right now because I think it's like 2 weeks before that is Youmacon.
Okay.
And it just comes to like taking work off and stuff like that.
Right.
But I definitely want to. I'll say right now it's in the plans.
Okay.
But we'll see what happens.
Cool, man.
I'm going to try.
It would be nice to see you again, man.
Yeah, I want to get my friends up there too, though. Like, I don't mind going up there alone because I do know people there. Like I know you, I know,
right.
I know the other videographers, and then there's I have a lot of fans of my channel up there too that I can hang out with. But it'd be nice to get the friends that I have in my vlogs up there and really.
Yeah, and we were so busy last year. I mean, I was trying to facilitate, for all of us to meet, but eventually I got busy, and it'd be cool to just maybe on day 0, like we should, if some of us show up on a Thursday, just go out for like dinner or something, just hang out,
That'd be awesome.
Have a beer or something.
I'm always trying to get to know people who do the cosplay music videos and even vlogs and stuff like that better. Like, I just want to get to know people who do the same thing that I do better, but we're always so busy. Like, it's all of us.
Yeah.
Because when we're at cons, I mean, we enjoy it, so, it doesn't really feel like work, but we're working,
Yeah.
We're running around
sure.
doing stuff. So even like Freddie also, I've been talking to Freddie for years now, trying to like get something together to like collab or something like that. It sounds like finally he's going to be on Behind the Cosplay at Anime Midwest. He said he'd jump on there. So hopefully we can find a time to meet up. But
Cool, man. Cool. Yeah, I'd like to hear more of this project that you got going on right now. The interviewing people on podcasts sounds cool. Yeah.
You're one of the first. Actually, you're the first cosplay person who does cosplay music videos that I've had on here. So
cool. Awesome. Cool.
Okay. Do you have any dream cons that you want to go to? Like that con that like you've thought about for a while, but you just never made it out there?
Man, Colossal Con looks great.
Yeah, giant DaishoCon.
Yeah, for sure. And when DaishoCon happens, it's like the weekend before Thanksgiving, so it's all cold out. But
it's freezing.
Colossal Con is like right in the middle of summer.
It's like June.
So it's amazing. Yeah, it's. I mean, I'm sure as a photographer or video guy, I'm sure you could get a lot of great shots there.
Oh yeah, the videos that come out there always look so fun. That's what I take away from it, is they look fun.
Yeah. I would probably put my camera, encase it in a waterproof.
Yeah.
And then go underwater with it.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I would probably use that at Colossal Con. So whoever uses that would be cool, because I've never seen that. I mean, maybe they've done that before already at other cons, but I haven't seen that for a Colossal Con where.
I don't think I've seen it.
Okay, where it's like underwater, someone's. Yeah.
Have you seen the pictures that go around when Colossal Con's happening, where like people have their entire like they have lights and like tripods up like in the water?
Wow, no, I
It
haven't.
blows my mind. I'm like, I'd be so afraid that I'm gonna like drop
Right.
something in the water. I
Oh
couldn't do
yeah.
it.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I couldn't do that. I'd have to have something waterproof, something casing.
for sure. They're just out there
Yeah,
like going. I'm like,
yeah,
no
that's
way.
hardcore, man. I would cry if I dropped my camera in the water.
Oh,
Oh my
me
God.
too.
I
I'd be devastated.
that would be like, that's it. I'm going home. I'm flying. I'm going
Well,
leaving early. You know.
honestly, with the camera I have right now, I'd be like, you know what? I guess I need to get a new camera now. It'd be like the excuse to
Right.
finally get that new camera. But
True. Yeah, that's eventually what would happen. But yeah, yeah.
so no other Dream Cons, just Colossal Con?
Well, yeah. I mean, pretty much that's it. I mean, I don't. I mean, all the. I guess my dream cons back when I first started kind of changed. Just because. Okay, so if you asked the 2000 version of me that question, I would have said something like Anime Expo.
Oh yeah,
But now it's like, there's so many people, like you said, that are going now to these cons that are keep growing, and it's like I don't know, you got no room to move. So
yeah, for
and
sure.
that's cool if you're into that. If you like those big, huge cons, that's awesome. That's what you like. But for like I said, someone shooting videos and got that has to move equipment around, it's kind of tough. So
No
like,
doubt.
yeah, I love the small cons. It's like if I didn't have to work, I would go around like the entire United States and just hit the really small ones and just shoot those, just to find that charm. Because every small con, because there's enough people there, but not so many people where you can kind of capture that charm, of that place, the vibe of that area. So I love small cons.
That's really awesome because
Yeah.
I see so many small cons that are good. They're like
Hmm.
really good cons and they have awesome
Oh,
cosplayers, but they're not getting any videos made of their convention because so many of these videographers, they only want to go to the bigger cons because there's,
yeah.
not even because there's more cosplay, but because oh, there's more people going, so my video may get more views, like
Right.
it's more likely to get more exposure and it's just like you
Right.
can't I just don't think you can always go after the views. I mean,
Right.
it makes me sad when I see an awesome con that doesn't have any video of it.
I know. I love those. I love
That's
those. Out in the boonies cons that are
yeah.
just in this awesome place and no one knows about it.
That's
So,
100% why I started making video because I was about to. It was 2013 and I think I had like 5 cons I planned to go to, the most I'd ever been to, and out of all of those cons, I think only one of them had cosplay music videos, and I'm like, I don't even know what these cons are about. Like I don't know anything about them, so I was like, I'm just gonna do it myself. Forget it. I'm just gonna make the
right.
videos myself.
Awesome. I
But
like that. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. There you go. Be the change.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then since then though, I mean, it feels like everybody's making a video. You can't walk around cons and not see cameras everywhere. But
Yeah. I
oh
mean,
well.
it has changed, I guess, if you put it in that perspective too. Yeah, it has gotten, I would say, yeah, it's gotten bigger if I had to put my finger on it. And since 2014, coming in late, so
Yeah.
yeah, I would just say I've seen an influx of just more people.
Mhm.
Hmm?
Okay. I lost my spot. Okay, what do you tell people? Like, what would be your advice for someone who wants to get into making video in general?
I would say find your own voice. Be you, be who like, that's what makes every director or cinematographer unique, is that we all look at the world differently, and let me see the world that you see. Let me see who you are. Your autobiography, should ooze and should come out, into your work. So I would say, yeah, just I mean, it's good to copy others, to learn from them, to learn from the people that came ahead of you, but at the same time, you kind of want to, be yourself, and like I said, have your own voice in your videos or your photos or whatever you do, your cosplays.
Would that would you have any like any more advice just for specifically about making con videos, or still just the same thing?
Yeah, well, technically, those things will come. I would say if you want to get really good at something technical, like a certain lens or how to stabilize, how to make your camera move smoother, you can get all that through forums. You can get active, ask questions, ask dumb questions. Go on video forums and just ask people what they use, what's a good brand, and research that, and then that'll come. But I think a lot of times young folks today want to get the look down. They want to get good resolution. They want to get a good stabilizer, and that stuff will come. But the stuff that I think is hard to learn is to truly translate yourself and your uniqueness into your work. That stuff is the hard stuff. To get people to have feels when they look at your work. To move people when they look at your videos.
That's great
time.
advice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I totally agree with all of that. Okay, if you can talk about it, what do you think the future holds for you in the cosplay world? Like, do you have any aspirations above what you're already doing within the cosplay world, or is this kind of just like a hobby for you?
I would say this is more kind of a hobby. It's just like I said, it doesn't even feel like work. I'm so passionate about shooting, cosplayers and that it's so fun. I wish I could get paid for it. That would be the ultimate job, but
no doubt.
Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. So I'm hoping to start shooting short films, and if any cosplayers, I'm throwing this out there, if you have a passion for acting, get in touch with me. I want to start directing fan films of anime scenes that I like. I want to start shooting short films that I've written originally, and eventually I want to just move on from there and start directing feature-length films.
That's awesome. Okay, that's pretty much all my questions that I have written down. Do you have any final things you want to talk about on here before, like, you might want to tell people or anything before I let you go? Or
no, I think that's pretty much it. Pretty much, yeah, that's it. I think we've covered a lot of it for up and comers. Just okay. Well, go out and just shoot something. Don't make an excuse. Use your phone if you have to. If you feel that you want to do video, just go out and shoot something. My favorite director, Stanley Kubrick. His words: just go out there and shoot something.
Yeah, doesn't matter what it is, just do it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's where so many people get lost when they ask me about making videos at cons. They're like, I think people plan too much, especially in the start, and worry too much before they ever even shoot anything. Like, they're too in their own head. They need to get out there and.
Right. Yeah, that's totally true. Yeah, you kind of think too much. You're like, oh no, what's this button? What does this do? Am I gonna get a wide enough lens or whatever?
Yeah.
How do you use this tripod?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I said, just kind of go out there, man. Get your feet wet. Just do it. Who cares? Just kind of it's like. Who's that German director? He's like, when you stare at a camera, it's like looking into the face of death.
Wow.
Werner Herzog. Yeah, that's his name. So yeah, definitely, it's going to be intimidating. But the technical stuff is easy. Like I said, you can just go up and read up on it, YouTube it, and then you'll figure it out. But the hard part is to being original, being yourself.
All right, awesome, man. Well,
Yeah.
Okay. One more time, in case anybody, now that they've listened to you talk, is interested in following you. What was your Facebook again, where they can find you?
Oh yeah, the Facebook is my bad. Let me check, man. Yeah, I just haven't been keeping up with my Facebook page. But having said that, they can follow me here if they want, or just say hi, whatever. It's just facebook.com/MANNA Rose, and then that's it. Manna Rose.
Okay, awesome. And your YouTube channel?
Yep, YouTube channel is my name. I think it's just /Byron Cleo Yang. Unfortunately, I wrote my whole middle name there. I didn't want.
Man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
yeah.
better. That's better than mine. If you go on it's a long story, but if you go on my channel, like, just click into it. My URL is like youtube.com/ the SVR TV2,
Oh
which
wow.
has nothing to do with my channel. That's a long
amazing.
story, but
Wow, that's
yeah.
amazing.
Well, guys, go follow him. Check out the stuff he does. Like I was saying throughout this, his music videos, they really do stand out in the crowd compared to other cosplay music videos. And
Thanks, man.
yeah, and I really recommend people watch them because you will see a difference. So thanks again.
Thanks, Cody.
Guys, that was an awesome conversation. I'm going to be honest with you. I could talk to Byron all day. He's the kind of guy that I feel like I need a follow-up interview with at some point, maybe down the line, season 2 or 3 of this show. He's just really inspirational to me personally. I don't know how much you guys got out of it. I don't know, because I know the large majority of my viewers are straight up cosplayers. They're not into making the videos and that kind of thing. So I don't know if he really spoke to you guys or not. I hope he did. I really hope he did, because what he says speaks to me a lot. And he's the kind of guy that it's like, even if you guys aren't interested in what he's got to say about it, which I hope you are, like I said, but I am. I'm interested. That's the kind of conversation I love to have. He told me a lot of things. He gave me a lot to think about. And even after the call ended, we kept talking for another good 20 minutes or so. And he's just suggesting all these things to me to help me out. He's a super nice guy. He's not out there to come at the competition and be like, I'm gonna be the best there ever was. I'm gonna catch them all, that kind of thing. He's not about that. He's really about the art, and you can tell he means it. When you see him at cons, he's running around killing it, and he's still having a good time. He's an awesome guy. Check out his channel, link in the description. I really appreciate him being on here. Remember, you guys can suggest, if you forgot, you can suggest people you want to see on the show in the comments. And also, don't forget to comment and let me know what you want to see me asking them that I might not be asking them. Whether they're cosplayers, videographers, whatever. What should I put in my Google Doc where I keep all my questions to be asking these guys in the future? I want to ask the right questions. But nonetheless, thank you guys so much for listening this week. If you enjoyed this, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because it helps. And also share it. I don't know why I haven't been saying to share it. Share the video. And I'll see you guys next week with another awesome person.